Alrighty, hi everybody, 01 here. How's it going? So bad news. I was working on the original elevator, and when I logged in, for some reason it kept getting stuck. Like it would get hung up on something over here, even though there isn't any spaces for anything to get hung up on. And the whole elevator would tilt like this way, and then I would have to like reverse the chain or whatever and pull it back up and then have it kind of go out again. But then as soon as I dropped it back down again, it got stuck in the same place. And it kept doing that over and over and over and over and over, and I didn't know why it was doing it. And so I started messing around with the inertial tensors on things, which is something you should never, ever, ever do. And lo and behold, something exploded, which wasn't a good thing. And yeah, the entire elevator just kind of started falling a little bit, and I kind of fell down with it because I was standing on the elevator at the time. And then it fell down there, and that's where it landed. And it also took out the little platform that I was making going out this way, so it destroyed that. Super fun. Yeah. And so after that happened, instead of trying to rebuild the entire chain again, which is what I would have had to do, I decided instead to go with something a little bit more controlled. And so I came up with this little ketchup and mustard looking thing that we got going on here. And if it sounds like my words are a little slurred, they should be a little less slurred than they were for the past couple of videos. My tongue is healing, thankfully. I did bite it a couple more times because I'm trying to like be careful with it, so then you chew weird and just, I don't know, it's weird. But not as badly as the first time. And so I built this little piston system here. So pretty simply, it's 4 pistons on either side with a rotor up on top, and then the rotor heads attached to the wall, as you can see on the sides here. So this is the piston elevator done by, was it Black Armor that did this one too? I don't know. Yeah, so someone did this one. I remembered the basic concept, so then I just kind of started building it from scratch. Apparently I have a meteor storm inbound. And so yeah, so I went with just a single piston. I could have gone with a double piston and moved a little bit faster, but single piston for more control. And then if you take a look at the edge here, we have very little space in between here. It's basically just enough for the thick part of the head to go through, and it's the same on both sides, so as you can kind of see. And the way I was able to get that done is through these pistons here. So we have both pistons are mounted on this half of the platform, and they connect over to this side. And then I have, you can see they're kind of wiggling a little bit, which probably isn't the best thing in the world, but yeah, and then I had just overlapping glass plates. So these 2 plates are actually on this platform. These 2 plates are actually on this platform. And I just kind of like interweaved them, I guess. So I could kind of cover this up and still cover everything, even though it's not like a full, you know, block, whatever. So that kind of worked. So building this and actually putting all of these things in the right place is actually really, really easy going down. So I built the new platform up there. I did my first 2 little rotor head things over there. And then all I had to do was make sure those were connected and then extend the pistons. And then that brought me all the way down to the full extent. And then I put in 2 more heads, and then I transferred, made these ones attach and then those ones detach. And then I reversed the pistons, which then brought me down another 4 blocks or 8 blocks. I don't know, a certain amount of blocks. And then I just kind of built that going all the way down, which you can kind of see here. So to do all of that, I was using these commands here. So this is what you need. I mean, not all of it, but some of it. So to start you off, you need to have these things reversed, right? So I went with color coding, and I also put like A and B on here so I know which one is which. So yellow is all the A pistons, B is all the red pistons. And so then I had to extend, you know, one of these 2, so they're opposite. And then from there, I could group all 8 pistons into a single group, and then have them reverse. That way when, you know, they move up and down, they move in tandem, but opposite. So that way, you know, you can get your wall crawling ability going on. Also, if you get down to the bottom and you accidentally detach and you fall a little bit below where the actual attachment point is here, you have to have this button here, the pistons on off, so that way you can reverse them a little bit, get this thing up and then turn them off, so that way the pistons stop moving to get you aligned. Okay, so that's pretty much it for those. And then you have over here, so you have rotors A. What the hell was that? Am I getting attacked by something? No? Just being weird? Okay. I don't know. Okay, so rotor for the A group, attach, rotor B group, attach, then rotor A group, detach, and then rotor B group, detach. And so that's what you need to have this work manually. Now, in order to make this work via timers, from what I can gather, you need 3 total timers, and that's going for up and down. So in one of these timers, so as you can see, this is timer A attach, B detach, and then this is for ascending. And then this is going to depend on how, like, don't copy that directly over. This is going to depend on how you build your own. And depending on if you have your A's or your B's up at the top or down, you know, depending. So this could be opposite, but the general idea here is that you have 4 commands in here. So you have your rotor A, your A group for rotors to attach, your B group to detach, so that way you're just kind of switching. And then you have to run a reverse on the pistons, so that way they can kind of do their thing. And then you have to trigger the next timer. And then you can see the next timer is a detach, B attach. So it's just opposite of what this timer is. And it's got the same exact thing, and it just triggers the other one as well. So what that's going to do is it's going to cause these two to kind of bounce back and forth. So this one will do its thing, then I'll turn this one on, then this one will do its thing, and then turn this one on, do its thing, whatever. So that'll just keep going back and forth unless you stop it. And because you need the timer in here for the delay between the pistons extending and retracting, you can't put the timer in here, so that's why you need the 3rd timer block. And then this one is the elevator countdown, and this is kind of what I'm working on right now. And then this one, all this is doing is just telling both of the timers to stop. And then you have to do that after a certain amount of time. So here I have 55 seconds, which isn't enough, but I'm going to be, so, and then another thing that you have to keep in mind here is that, so if this is 5 seconds, right? And this is 55 seconds. So then you would think that this would be able to do 11 switches, right? I'm not sure if it's 11 or 10 because there is that first delay when you start the other timers. It has to wait for 5 seconds before it triggers. So technically you're starting at 5 seconds and then going to 55. So that's only 50 seconds, which should be 10. I don't know. That's kind of what I'm working on here, and I figured it would be good for a video. Okay, so then we have this timer here, this timer here. These are opposite as far as the attaching and detaching goes, but they're the same with the reversing the pistons and triggering the other timer. So half of it's the same, half of it's opposite. And then this one is just the overall timer for all of this stuff. And so when you're starting this, what you need to do here is then make another group. So this is timers. So this is a group, timers descend. And so then if we look at this, so timers ascend and then timers descend. So that'll be group. Timers. Okay, so let's look at ascend, right? I have way too much stuff in here. Lockers, I don't need those to be shown. So you can get turned, nope. This, nope. This, yes, okay. Air vents, I do need. Hangar doors, I will need. Let me see. Connectors, maybe. Control panels, probably won't need these, and I do have a lot of them, so we'll turn those off as well. I'm just trying to clear this up a little bit here. Let's see, connectors, corner LCDs, these things, actually, corner couch, corner lights, pretty much all of these I'm not going to need to see. Whoops, wrong button. Okay, and then desks, definitely not going to need to see those, or the dispensers. So we'll turn that off as well. Let's see. Decoys, doors, gyros, hinges, interior lights. I'm not going to need these. Whoops, no. There we go. LCD panels. Unless it's a special one, I'm not going to need it. Nope. Sorry, doing all of this. It's just kind of dumb, but okay. Let's just turn. No, those need to stay on, but turn off. Okay, so back to timers, ascend. Now I shouldn't have to go through too many things. Okay, I still have to go through a lot of things. Did I miss it? Okay. So you can see that this group here is the elevator countdown and then the ascend timer. And then the timer's descend is going to be still the elevator countdown and then the descend. So it's going to start opposite, but once again, this is going to depend on how you build your own system. So if you have an even number of things, then your start and your stop will be opposite. If they are odd, then your start and stop will be on the same timer. So like, I'm sure you guys are smart enough to understand what I mean, because it's complicated to explain. But so like, let's say that we take 6, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So they start on this one and they end on this one, so they're opposite, right? But if you have 7, which will bring you down to here, then they start and end on the same one. So depending on how you have this set up, and I actually haven't counted mine, it's hard to see, but it looks like mine start and end on the same one. So once I get down to that point, I'll just need one button to ascend and descend, but I have to get the timing down first. And I do want to get this a little bit faster. So if we go into the pistons for the elevator and we do all these at the same time. So right now I'm at a velocity of 2.5 meters per second, and it has to travel a total of 10 meters. So a little quick division tells you that it'll take 4 seconds to do a full extend or a full retract. Okay. Now, I'm not going to make the timers be exactly 4 seconds, because if this misses even a little bit, that could be catastrophic, in which case the rotors both detach at the same time, and then you're just kind of screwed. And then also, I want to see if I still need that as high as it was. It was getting stuck, but I adjusted some things, so maybe I don't actually need that. And that didn't actually help anyways, so not really that big of a thing. Okay, so we'll just keep that here for now. And then we'll just ascend again so I can reset. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, go. Ooh, this is not gonna be good. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. So, now that you know what would happen if you don't get that right, yeah, that's not fun. Like, at all. But yeah, so you need to make sure that you have these things set up the right way. And I'm actually just going to cheat my way out of this, because having to rebuild all of that would be a pain in the ass. So we are not going to save. And unfortunately, it takes a long time to load and unload, so I will pause and I will be right back. All right, we're back. I decided to pour myself a drink while we're at it because I'm probably going to need it, let's be honest. Whiskey sour, good stuff. Okay, so ascend was not the correct thing to do here. So because we kind of have to do so do I hit this one instead? Oh my god, I'm gonna save this just in case it breaks again. I mean, it's possible they just kind of did like a mishit or something, but that's going down again. Okay. So ascend was supposed to be the right one to do, but for some reason it didn't work or something. And hopefully that doesn't go down so far that it causes problems. I don't think it will. The way that this is set up right now is it kind of just sits about a full block above that, maybe like 3/4 of a block. It's not really a full block. How far do we have to go? Like what, like 2 more, 1 more? All right, I'm just going to just see what happens. Okay, so that stopped us here, which is right where we need to be. Okay, good, good. Also, I was working on rebuilding this, now that it actually seems to be working. And then this is the place where I've got like the multiple grids and stuff. So it's just, I don't know, it's a thing. Okay, so I can run probably some catwalk plates off of this. So, ooh, I almost fell off. That's not good. I mean, it should be fine. But then again, I could also maybe do this, or since it's letting me put in the full block, maybe I do this. But then I don't know if that's going to push everything off just a little tiny smidge. Doesn't look like it did. Okay, so we'll just assume that's good and hope. And then if it does have issues, which it looks like it might. Okay, so we ended here. So what was supposed to happen is when we hit the ascend, that was supposed to run the ascend group, and then the ascend group should have been this timer, which is to attach A and detach B. Yeah, so it should have attached A and detached B and then reversed. That's what it should have done. And then also, if this ran twice for 55 seconds and we got exactly here, then that is a minute 50. So, no, we have to do that in seconds though. So that's 55 is 110. So, I mean, this should bring me all the way up to the top, I'm thinking. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. And if we count that as 10, yeah, I think that actually works out mathematically. Yeah. Okay, so now if I fall from here, it's not going to do too much damage. So now let's just go to the ascend, and hopefully we don't die. Now it should be locking A. Okay, so it did this time. I don't know why it didn't do it the other time, so that's kind of weird. Now I can streamline this, which is what I plan on doing. I'm going to make it go a little bit faster. So I have to figure out the math for that, but so long as I'm doing all of this stuff, I'll give you some basic dimensions on here. So I am 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks on here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks over here on this side, with between the space on the edges and the space in here, it's a total of 11 blocks wide. Okay, so that kind of gives you an idea. And then with this, I kind of shrink the space on the edge a little bit. So to give you what that is, this is set at 1.25 meters. So it's about half of a block. I'm really hoping that this counts out correctly. I might actually be off, which means that I'll probably die again. Oh my god, this is terrible. I might have to reduce it by 5 seconds now that I think about it. And then it should have one more to do. Ooh. We're gonna stop. Yeah. I think it had to be reduced by 5 seconds. Ah, shit. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Restarting again. This is not good. Yeah. I'll be right back again. Okay. Oh, hey, we're down at the bottom. Okay, good. It's terrible. Okay. We're going to bring this, instead of 150, we're going to go 145. Minute 50 versus minute 45 is going to be 105. Okay. So, let's try this again. I'm going to save. And, okay, we'll try this again. Hopefully the little grabbers do the grabby thing. Okay, good. So now we just have to wait for this to go all the way up. And then if it doesn't make it up, like if I am wrong and it takes 5 seconds more, that's not really a problem because I can adjust this manually. And yeah, that's not going to be an issue. But I don't, like, if I hit stop on the timers, like, wouldn't it at least keep some of those locked? Or was I already past the point to where it got up to the top and it was trying to reach onto the next one, but it didn't have anything to grab onto? I think that might have been the case. So I just got to it too late, I guess. But I mean, the whole thing works relatively well, and I am going to get this thing to speed up if I can. At least make it go a little bit faster. Maybe have it go at, I don't know, 5 meters per second. So that'll double the speed, but it'll also give me a nice number to work with as far as the timing goes, because then it'll just be 2 seconds per extension. And then we'll check this, and if it does work at 145, then we'll divide that by 5, which will be what, 12 and 9? Is that 21? Okay. So then 21 times 2 seconds would be, what, 42? So it's a lot faster than kind of what we got going on so far. Now, hopefully, this works. And it stops here. Okay, good. This is terrible. Okay. This is like nerve-wracking. Okay, so if I go, let's see, go to all the pistons and I increase their speed to 5 meters per second. Right. Right. Because they have to be opposite. Okay. That was a little scary, but we're okay. That is really fast. Okay, and then I can't tell which pistons are or which rotors are connected right now? Oh, so it's the A ones. Okay, so A has to be extended. Okay. So now we're at 2 seconds per. So then if I reduce the time here, and I am having this be exact, which is a little crazy, but we're gonna try it. This will be 2, and then this one will also be 2. Okay, so that's enough time for this thing to just go, get down, and then connect before it goes again. So this should be smoother, but at the same time, it's also going to be a lot faster. So we'll see how this works. We're going to say beforehand. Yeah. Okay, here we go. 1, 2. Okay, this is a little too fast. I am kind of jumping up a little bit. But I mean, it's grabbing on, so we can go with exact values here, which is good. But I am going to have to slow it down, I think. I mean, the whole like jumping thing that I'm doing right now, kind of not good, especially if you've got a vehicle on here and it's going to be bouncing around all the time. Probably not a good thing. Okay, so are we are not at the bottom. Did we miscount? How many more do we have to go? 2 more? Oh, what do we got? Another one coming in? Ugh. Okay, yeah, so technically it's 1 more. So I'm just going to have this ascend and see if it's going to make us drop or not. No, okay, good. Okay, going up is a lot easier. I am still jumping a little bit. And I think I have to add on 4 seconds to this thing, but I am going to change the timing anyways. So if I have to add on 4 seconds, that'll be 44 divided by 2, it's 11. So 11 times whatever it is that I'm doing is what I need for total time. And this didn't make it up all the way. Okay, and I think that might be because I do have it on here as exact. And so maybe what it was doing before was triggering that last one. And then immediately after triggering, which is what caused it to, finish its ride, then it stopped. Whereas if I have it on exact, maybe it's not triggering that last one. Okay, so what we have to do now is reverse, wait, no, hold on. So we have to attach B, okay, and then detach A, and then reverse. That'll bring us up to the top, okay. All right, so I'm gonna slow it down a little bit, figure out kind of a good speed for this. So 5 is a bit much. But then if I do something else, I mean, 2.5 wasn't bad. And then also 50,000 50,000 is the default value here. Okay, so we're gonna slow it down by half again. And I just messed it up again, didn't I? Did I mess that up again? I can't tell. I did mess it up again. Okay, now it's getting stuck. Why are you getting stuck? Okay, so one possible difference is that I took the impulse axes, if we're doing plurals here. So maybe I'll bump that up to 100,000. Hello, 100, 1, 2, 3. 100, 1, 2, 3. Okay. No? And then I am floating a little bit, so that means that there is something that something doesn't like somewhere. So that's never a good sign. Okay, so let's go 150,000. Okay. Okay, so 150,000 seemed to stop the movement. Now it's just very, very slight movement, so that's good. But not enough to get those things moving again. Okay. So let's bump it up again. So we'll go 200,000. Anything? Okay, there we go. And that was weird, but okay. We'll reverse. Okay, so it seems like 200,000 for torque is needed. And then we'll reverse these guys out. Okay, so with that being there, we have to change this, and I'm gonna go with 2.6. Wait, no. So it's 4 seconds, right? So I'm gonna go 4.5. And I'm gonna go 4.5 on this one. So we are gonna spend a little time stationary. Which shouldn't be an issue. But now we have to do our multiplication times 4.5. 4.5 times 11. Wait, do I need 11? Hold on. No, 22 is what I need. Not 11. Okay, so then 4.5 times 22 is 90 plus 9, so 99. Is that what I need? Let me run that through a calculator real quick. Calculator. Okay, 4.5 times 22 is 99. Okay. So we're going to descend. Okay, so there should be just a very, very short. Oh wow, that's actually really, really fast. Okay, that is. Okay, so we do have a very, very, very slight pause, which I'm okay with. And that first one was like so smooth, and I'm like, oh crap, did I mess up the timing? I mean, so far it seems to be working relatively well. We're moving down at a decent pace. Kind of okay with this. I do want to check to make sure that I'm not jumping. No. Okay, it's a little shuddery, but I'm not actually getting bounced off, which I think is good. Okay, how are we doing? Okay, we're just about at the bottom, so we'll see if it stops in the right place. Hopefully it does. If not, I'll have to adjust a little bit. Nope. Okay, so I missed it by a little bit. Yeah, and this was... Okay, so that's 3. So 3 less. It's weird. Okay. So the 99 minus 4.5 times 3 is 12, 13.5. So 99 times, or minus 13.5 is going to be 85.5. So if we just go with 86, maybe that'll work. Okay. So now this is when you need like the pistons on off thing. to do its thing. And then also, well, no. Okay, so I need to reverse these things first. Now, when you are doing this connection here, if you are set on something solid, like I am right now, like I'm sitting on blocks underneath here, if when you try to connect this, you are anywhere above this, so like the center of your rotor is above the center of this, you will blow something up. And that's because this thing is trying to fit into here, but it doesn't have enough room to move this way. So you have to be very, 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 very careful. Okay, so now if I connect right here where I am a little bit below, and actually let me see if I can get that a little bit better. Okay, so I am a little bit below, so the center of this is a little bit below the center of that. When I connect, it's probably gonna make me jump a little bit, but it shouldn't break anything. Maybe, we'll see. Yeah, so it made me jump a little bit, which is fine. The farther down that is, the farther up you'll be launched. So just kind of keep that in mind. But once again, if this is above, like the center of your rotor is above the center of this, it's going to try to force itself and push everything down. And since you're trying to push up against something that's solid, it's going to blow these things up. You're going to blow out a piece of your wall, and it's just going to be a nightmare. So, okay. So that's fine. So now we're going to reverse. Okay, and now we are where we need to be to reset. Okay. Whew. So now we will try ascending again. And we'll see if it stops on time or if my timing is off again, which is, you know, always possible. And then if you notice the camera sort of move to the side, for some reason, like when you're sitting in a seat, like your character kind of like moves and the camera moves with it. It's weird. Okay, so this seems to be working relatively well so far, and it's not just on this side, it is also on this side behind me doing the same thing. And then all this is doing is just ensuring that this thing stays completely level and centered, which is something you definitely need when you're trying to do this sort of setup. Because if this just had one side, which is what I saw in the YouTube video, they just had it on just one side, but then it was also just for a single person moving up and down. If you have it extend out, then you still have to deal with physics, which means that the overall platform is going to like lean towards the end that you move it out to. Hopefully this works. And it stops right here. Oh, it did. Okay, good. Okay, so I think that's good for now. Anyways, and also I noticed that it didn't get stuck on those blocks down at the bottom that I put in, so those 2x1 bases, so that's good. And it got up here in one piece. It ended in the right place, so timing is like critical for this. Other things that are extremely important here. When you are working with these things, so all of your pistons need to have some settings the same, right? They all need to have the inertial tensor set, so that way it shares it. Your speed is, you can work that out as you need. And then your impulse axis, I think that's going to be individual, like based on your own systems. You might have to mess around with those. I had it set at 250,000 newtons before, but it seems 200,000 is enough. And then if we go with the rotors, once again, these things all share the same things. You cannot have the inertial tensor on your rotors. If you do, they will blow up. Another thing, you cannot have the rotor lock on. If you do, they will blow up. As far as torque and braking torque, you can set both of those to 0. We're not trying to actually spin anything. We're just using it to, Spider-Man away up the wall. So that you don't need as anything. Velocity you don't need as anything. All of these things you don't need as anything. Your rotor placement, I believe, will depend on your specific setup. For mine, it is 10 centimeters. That seems to be the magic number where everything works and it doesn't get stuck. And once again, that is with an 11 wide block. So if we're counting like the actual blocks here, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11, which gets us to the other side. What is that? Ugh. Really, dude? Why? What gallon is this? 14? Alright. I'm gonna hop in 14. Then we're gonna take a look at that thing. Okay, so turret oh, I've got a bunch of 14s. Where are we looking? Okay. Let's see what that thing is. What is that? I mean, it looks like the one that it sends over here. It's just that one has like all of the fancy stuff on there. So it's got like the antenna. What do we have here? Oh, hey, buddy. That didn't last. Okay. Easy enough. Do you have ammo? No, everything's got ammo. I know that I have plenty of ammo in here. Oh, also, another thing. If you notice, these look a little different, hey? I downloaded a new mod. I was watching Wasted Space and their video. They're long, like 4-hour videos. And I noticed that they were rebuilding their ship in VR sleep, I guess. And I noticed that Wasted Space was replacing all of the conveyors with these armored conveyors. And considering that I was setting out, you know, these tubes with glass on top, I mean, it's basically the same exact thing. So I decided to download the mod, and that way I can save a block of space, and then also I can put some protection in here, which I think I might actually do right now. Heavy armor panel. Yeah, so now I can actually do that instead of having that block space be used up by the piece of glass that was going on top of there. So that's cool. I can do that here, and I can do that here. I'm actually really excited about this because it's really cool. And this I could do something with, I don't know. Did I get the one on the end? I think there's one more that needs it, yeah, over there. But yeah, so I was watching his videos, and yeah, figured these would be like a really nice, you know, thing to add. And then also they have like, actually they have cool parts on here. If I could find it, I think it's this one. Yes. Okay, so this is a 4-way junction. So they don't have that in like the normal blocks, which is cool because that worked out for there, and I got to keep the glass look, which is really, really nice. And then this is a build and repair, which only has an opening on this side and this side, but not on this side, as you can obviously see, which you couldn't do before. But yeah, so that's how, you know, all that works, and it's pretty cool. Okay, so yeah, I mean, that's my elevator, so it seems to work really, really, really well. I also have batteries on here, so these act as a little like extra storage capacity anyways, because these are always going to be connected, so they'll always keep charge, which means I can always pull off of these batteries if I need to. So in addition to the wall of batteries that I have back there, I also have these, what is it, 10 batteries? Yeah, over here. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so I'm gonna head down and just make sure that this thing works the way it's supposed to work. And I'm gonna have a seat, just because. Hopefully it works. Okay. I think it's working. Yeah, so you see the camera move right there? That's me moving in the chair, or my character moving in the chair. I don't know if that's like a glitch or if that's supposed to happen, but I think it's kind of weird, but meh. But yeah, so it's pretty smooth. It's not the fastest thing in the world, but you know, I'll take like stability and smoothness. I mean, this is pretty smooth over quick and like jumpy, and you know, not very safe. So if this stops in the right place, then I think I'll be pretty good with my timing, which means that I can then go and start tearing down all of this stuff. Oh, what is... Are they shooting at something? Thought I heard turret fire. Maybe not. Okay, so another good thing about having multiples of these is redundancy, right? So if for whatever reason this wall takes a missile to it and it knocks out that piece right there, if I have these 3 still in place for these to grab onto, then it'll still work. If you take out 2 on one side, it's possible that it could break. And then if you take out 1 on either side, so like if you take this back one out and that back one out at the same time, the whole thing will swing forward because these don't have a rotor lock on. Did this not make it down? This didn't make it down. Did it? Is it close? It's off by 1. So timer did not work going down, but it did work going up. So do I need like a separate timer? One for going down and one for going up? Okay, so we're going to attach A, detach B, and then reverse, and then it'll bring us back down to where we need to be. Okay. Yeah, and we're not hitting that at all, so that's good. Which means that this whole thing can stay relatively solid here, which I am okay with. But now I'm going to test this going back up again, just to see if I do need a different time. Because if I do, that's going to kind of suck. Just means that I'm going to need another timer block. I mean, it's still moving the same amount, so I don't know why I would need a different time going up versus going down. So that's kind of weird. Because, I mean, it worked the last time, right? Going up, and it made it all the way up. Now, if for some reason it doesn't work every single time exactly the same way, that's an even bigger problem. But, I mean, that can be fixed by just doing it manually, I guess. But still, I'd rather not have to do it manually if I could help it. But yeah, I mean, it's a relatively clean design. I mean, there's nothing like super crazy going on here. Okay, no, so it goes up all the way, but it doesn't go down all the way. Is it just me, or is that really weird? Okay, so I'm going to have it go down one more time. And then if it stops in the same place again, then all I'm going to do is I'm going to add another timer on here, and I'll switch up my groups. So I'll have an ascend timer and then a descend timer. And we'll see kind of how that works. But yeah, I mean, I kind of like this little pattern here in the middle with the glass. It's kind of cool. And then it allows you to see down, which is, you know, also nice. Now, I suppose I shouldn't complain too much about the time it takes. We are moving an incredibly high distance. And I gotta fix that block right there. It's gotta get fixed. Me. One of these days. I'm not too worried about it right now. And then I have to go down here and scrap all of this stuff out, which is gonna be swell. What are you going to do, though, right? I just got to rebuild it again. But luckily I have my little builder vehicle, so it does tend to work pretty well. Okay, so then if this is going to be... Well, I suppose I should wait to see where it ends first. Okay, so we're just about down to the bottom. And it should go one more and then stop. No, and now it goes all the way down to the bottom. So, is it just temperamental? Is that what it is? So, I mean, if I can keep it as is and just have it, you know, be off a little bit, I'm okay with that. Like, if every once in a while I have to, you know, set these things manually, fine. I'm cool with that. But as long as, like, it got me all the way down here on the same timer that it did going up, which is what it should be doing, then I can just leave this here as is, and we'll call it good. And then, so long as I'm here, I can do a little bit more decorating. I'm gonna put these here. I'm gonna have to sneeze. Okay. Okay, so now hopefully this won't cause any issue here, but it will give me, like, you know, you can't go this way, you gotta go out that way. And then I could do potentially the same thing over there, just kind of run this out and kind of make an edge over there. So that way you'll know kind of where the edge of this thing is, that way it doesn't fall. But yeah, and then I can build this into the normal block in the back there. I could just leave this as is and then just build the solid blocks kind of after. I think that might actually be a good idea. Because, I mean, all of these things are going to have to be here. And then we are going to make this like a solid wall going through the back, or along the back. And that's just for extra protection inside of here, in case, like, you know, missiles, gunfire, whatever. It's not going to, you know, destroy anything super critical or important. Okay, so we'll leave that there for now. And then we can leave this ledge here as is. I think that'll be fine too. And then we'll just have to build up that wall, which is going to take a long time and a lot of materials, but that's fine. And then I have to work on moving this out so I can get my next elevator going down that way and my next base probably over here somewhere. And then I have to go out again, once I get down a little bit, to go down to the base of the mountain base, which is what all this is about. So I'm just basically trying to make it so I can have wheeled vehicles go down there, pick up stuff, go onto the elevators, and basically kind of drive my way all the way back to the main base. That's kind of what the idea is, but we'll see how that goes. So we'll go up one more time, and then we'll just kind of make sure that this thing does what it's supposed to do. My nose is running for some reason. It wasn't running at all today. No, for some reason it is. Maybe it's the alcohol. Could be. I don't know. Or it could be that I'm talking. So that could be too. But hey, it actually doesn't hurt to talk today. It's just still a little weird. Sounds a little slurry, but that's because, you know, whatever. But yeah, so here it is. Hopefully I've explained this good enough for anyone to be able to replicate it. Once again, the individual settings on this are going to depend on how you set up your own thing, but I think there are some general things that we can take for granted will be the same for every build, provided you do it relatively the same. If you go with an odd number here, okay, so then your length for each side is going to be half of your odd number minus 1, or minus 0.5. So if you only want to go 7 wide, then you're going to have 3.5, which is half, but then you subtract, you know, 0.5, so you're going to have 3 blocks over here on the side, right? So then your wall would kind of start right here. Now, with that, if you want to keep this same spacing in between the wall here and your platform, regardless of how wide your platform actually is, provided, and actually I think that should be the same even if you have an even, but I mean with this gap in the middle, you're probably going to want odd, but I suppose that even would work too, because you just have to extend these a little bit more. But the extension here is 1/2 of a block. So pretty much exactly 1/2 of a block. Although as you can see from here, this side is obviously smaller than this side, even though this is supposed to be in the half, and that's because there is a very slight offset between the edge of the piston head and the edge of the block next to it. So the piston head does stick out a little bit more. So that's why you get an uneven thing here. But that should be fine. So you just run this out to 1/2 of a block. So 1.25, a full block is 2.5. And that should give you decent enough spacing over here to where you can pass by all of these things without getting hung up on them. I don't think you can get hung up on them anyways, but just, you know, as a precaution. Oh, and hey, we actually got up all the way to the top where we needed to, which is also good. Yeah, so that's going to be the same pretty much on everything. Setting your inertial tensors, your rotor locks, your torques, all of that should be relatively the same except for your max impulse axis. That might be different depending on your build. This is just what mine needs. Your velocity will be whatever you set it to. Just keep in mind. So to keep yourself from missing out on anything. So I've got this set at 2.5. Now so this one is obviously negative. That one's positive, negative, positive. So be careful when you're setting these things. So divide your maximum distance. So if you wanted to go with 3 meters per second, if you reduce the maximum distance, actually that would probably be a really bad idea. Don't do that. Keep this at 10 because that's, you know, 4 blocks. And if you're moving 2.5, then you're moving 1 block per second. So make your math easy on you. And then also for your timing here, always make these, what do I have this set at? So 4.5. So always add an extra ½ second onto your timing here. And that's just to make sure that everything has enough time to grab on and, you know, attach and detach as needed. So always add yourself a little bit of extra time here. And then as far as your overall time, that's going to be however many blocks you have to move or however many of your rotor heads you have to move. And I think mine is 11 on this side and then 10 on this side. So on your B block, I've got 11 going down, and then on the A block, I think I've only got 10 going down. So it's a total of 10, 11 is what, 21, right? And then you have to figure that out, and that should give you roughly where you need to be with this. So then you're going to multiply your delay in here by the number of rotor heads that you need to go minus 1. And I think that's how it's supposed to be. I could be wrong. Once again, check it on your own as you're doing it. And then once again, I cannot claim ownership of this or creation of this. This was made by someone else. And then I just kind of took the idea and built mine from scratch. I didn't actually watch the video. As I was building it, I just kind of had the general idea and I just kind of built it. But I think mine does go into a little bit more in depth with what you actually need in case you want to build this yourself. So hopefully that'll help you guys when you're doing your stuff. And then you don't have to use the ketchup and mustard colors that I did, but labeling your groups, you know, like with physical blocks, I think would actually be a really good idea. So, and that's just, especially if you're doing this manually, so it's like if you lose track of like, okay, which one's A, which one's B, I don't remember, you can just look up, it's like, oh, this one's B. So, yeah. And then make sure that you have your groups. So I have rotor group A, I have rotor group B. I also have another group which includes all of the rotors. And then I have piston group A, piston group B, and another group that includes all of the pistons. And you just need to kind of play around with which ones that you need there. As far as your ascend and descend, you need 3 timer blocks. 1 for your overall time, and then at the end of this, all it's going to do is turn off these other 2 timer blocks. And then for your ascend, you're going to use your overall time plus 1 of these, and then for your descend, your overall time plus the other 1. And then you have to make those groups, that way when you start the timer over here, it starts both of these timers at the same time. And that way, if you didn't have this overall timer in here, then once you got up to the top, it would still keep trying to climb, which means that eventually it would let go here. And because there's nothing to grab onto here, your entire thing would let go and the whole thing would fall. So very important that you do have this end timer on here. But I mean, apart from that, I mean, that's pretty much all you need. You can get creative with how you have it set up. I mean, it works, so I'm pretty happy with it. One thing I will do, though, is put that wall on the end. How do I want to do that? I could do like a half block. That might work. So let me see if I can get over to the end without falling off. Okay, so we'll do... Whoa, 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 hey. That was almost not good. Okay, so I need half block. There we go. And then I'll do this half block going kind of all the way across. Hopefully it'll let me. And then because these pistons are tied directly to the block, it centers everything. So you should be able to put block against block like this, and it should not be an issue. But once again, check it with your own build. All right, and then what do I need here? I need something that will say, hey, there's an edge here. Don't come any farther or farther. Okay, so we'll do these here. And then I'll get my yellow stripy stuff. And then from here, I will grab light armor panel half slope. I believe this is, oh, no, that's not what I need. Half panel? Yeah, I think it's half panel. Okay. And then we can put that here. And then we'll just kind of alternate this. So that way you know to stop. Which is probably going to be a good idea. And then as far as this goes, I can put in some more railing. Provided I have enough construction components for it, that is. And then we'll just do this in the normal boring gray, which will be fine. How many components do I have? 88? Yeah, that should be fine. Okay, so we'll do this here. And then we'll run this kind of in here on the end to give us a little bit of protection. And then that should be good, just going to that point. Okay, and then we'll just throw these in there, and then that'll be good. So a little extra protection, little warning signs. And another thing I could do if I'm worried about this getting stuck is I could change these out for 2x1 tips, and then have the thick end up at the top and then the thin end at the bottom, so that way it just kind of slides its way up in. But I don't think that's going to be an issue, especially with the impulse set so high, it should just pull itself right past it. And I do have a little extra gap over here, so, and then these things do have a little bit of play in there, so they should be able to move a little bit, so I don't think there will be an issue. The only problem is if this lip here on this block gets stuck under this one. But once again, I mean, with the impulse axis here, it should pull it up anyways, and it'll just scoot the whole thing back a little bit, which should be fine. But yeah, so that's what I got. Hopefully you guys got something interesting out of this. I think this will be the design that I keep, and I will probably reuse this for all of my additional elevators because this does seem to be relatively stable. We don't have so much bouncing around. We don't have to rely so much on subgrids, which is really, really nice. The hinge chain works, but I think if I wanted to do it the right way, I would have just a single chain going onto the top instead of two chains on either side. Because then you have the issue with like this one giving a little bit of slack and then this one being tight. and then this one gave me a little bit of slack, so then you go down like this way, and then you go down like this way, and then it's this way, and it's just, it would probably work better if I had a shorter distance, but because this was such a long distance and because I had so much wobble in the chain, I think that's probably what was causing it. And then also the issue of it getting stuck, which honestly, I don't think it was anything wrong with the chain or the setup itself. I think that was just the physics of space engineers being dumb, which, as you know, is a thing. But we're at an hour. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this, got something out of it, hopefully. And let me know what you think. I think I might put some lights on here. Might be a good idea. Like on this block. Let me do that real quick. Light. And we'll just go like that because it fits in there nicely. Turn off these lights, see what that looks like. Extend this out to 300,000, or 20 works too. Radius, go that. Okay, and then I'm gonna go with what was it, 255, then I think this was 246, and then, or is it 241 and then 236? I don't know, it's like, this is supposed to be like soft light or something like that. Actually, I think these ones are set to that. Okay, so 255, 249, 231. So 255, 249, and then 231. There we go. We'll copy, and then we'll head over to here and paste. Good to go. All right. So that lights us up, I think, a decent enough amount. And then we can put some more lights out here or something. I don't know, I'm not really too worried about it. I could put a light on here maybe. Would that work? It would, but just not here because that fence is technically in the way. But yeah, so that's what I've got for this video. Like I said, hopefully you guys got something out of it and you enjoyed it. If you have any questions about this, or you want me to go over something in a bit more detail, let me know. Be happy to answer any questions that you guys have. And then if it's something that I can show in a video, I mean, I can make a video for it. So yeah, let me know. And see you in the next one. Have a good one.